Welcome back to another video on jazz theory. We are now doing the kind of a granddaddy step, but let's first do a recap. Our recap is going to start with what we've done so far. First, we looked at seventh chords. In the seventh chords, we talked about major, we talked about minor, we talked about minor flat 5, and we also talked about dominant 7. So let me do these in order a little bit. We got our major 7, we got our dominant 7, which is just a 7, we got our minor 7, we got our minor 7 flat 5. These are the common ones that we saw. Okay, and then we to all of this, then we added a 9 on top. And our 9 could be normal, it could be a flat 9, and it could be a sharp 9. After our 9s, we took and put an 11 on top. And that could be flat or sharp as well. Now, there are certain combinations that don't really work. We've talked about that briefly. But what I want to talk about today is the final piece to the final bit of this puzzle. And we are now going to add a 13th on top. A 13th on top. So what is today's video called? This is jazz chords, but jazz 13th chords. 13th chords. Oh boy. These are technically one of the bigger chords you will see throughout the whole of the jazz compendium. You don't really go beyond this, and we'll talk about why. You can kind of, I've worked out how you can kind of, but you don't really do it. Okay, so we're going to look at this today, and this is what it looks like. So just like our first example there, you got your root, your third, your fifth. Again, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that is the root, the third, and the fifth. You got your 6th, I'm sorry, your 6th there. What am I doing? You got your 7th there. Let me do this in colors so 7 is fine. And then you got your 8th, well, I can't count. Okay, you got your 8th there. This is your 9 here, right? So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goes there. I'm just going to skip and go 11 there. You know, you got the 10th there. So you got your 11th on top, and then you got your 13th on top. What we have over there is the picture, okay? Now, how do you call this? Very simple. Your root, of course, because you stack it all in thirds, is C. What's your quality of major? Well, this is right here. This is all a major 7 because you have a major triad and a major 7th on top. However, because we have more than just the 7th, the 13th already implies that you have all this other stuff. You already have this stuff. So this is simply a C major 13. I just realized you could, if you do this and you write it badly, it could look like cab. Okay, anyway, C major 13. So how do you make different ones like this? Very simple, very simple. If you want to make the other qualities like a C dominant 7, C dominant 7, not that, C dominant 7 instead, you take your notes again, so C, E, G, B. Let's go ahead and color code, because why not? It's fun. Super easy here, super easy here. 11th on, I'm sorry, a 13th on top. And to make it a dominant 7, all we have to do, of course, is to flat that 7. Now we have our C7 underneath, but we got a 9, 11, and 13 on top. So all you have to do is write C13. Boom. You got your C13 right there. Super easy. If you follow along with all the pieces we've done so far, this is super simple, super simple. It's super simple. Okay. You got your C, you got your E, you got your G, you got your B. We're going to make C minor 13 now. C minor 13. We're just doing the basic ones, the super basic ones. We're only changing the bottom chord quality. Your 9, 11, and 13 will stay the same for these examples. Of course, you can change them. You can use this stuff. You can also sharpen flat your 13, because why not? But we will not see that in this video. We will see that probably next time. So all you have to do is flat your third to make your minor, flat your third, flat your 7th again, so all you're doing is that. This, of course, will be called C minor 13, just like that. And then finally, we got one more that we'll do for the scope of this video. C, E flat, G, B flat. Maybe we'll keep them in the same, we'll see. Just putting our notes here. This is always the easiest part. Just draw your circles. Draw your notes here. Very simple. And then we're going to do C minor 13. And if you follow along with what we've done over here, we're just going to put that flat 5. Flat 5. So you're changing your, basically we're doing this, right? But all you're doing is changing your 7ths. We're doing these. You're changing your 7ths into 13ths. Why? Because we're using 13ths on top, right? You have more than just a 7. The 7 already implies, by the way, once again, the 13 implies that you have the 7th. The 13th already implies that you have a 7. So that's the cool part. You don't have to put, I mean, you could, I guess, see 13, put all this stuff. I mean, 11, 9, 7. I mean, you could, right? But why? Flat 5. Flat 7, flat 5, you could. I mean, geez, why? That's so much to write. This is so much easier. C minor, 13, flat 5, you're there. Call it a day. Don't work too hard. So we got our C minor. Let's go ahead and do that just for fun. Then we're going to flat our 5th, and we got our 13th on top. Looks like that. And that is it. So let's go ahead and play all these. They should be fun. C major 13 has C, E, G, there it is, B, D, F, A. Just like that. C 13, so C dominant 13, if you will. We'll have that B flat. All you do is B flat. Very nice as well. My favorite that has the minor is like this with the C, E flat, C, E flat, G, B. Gorgeous. And then finally we're going to flat that 5 as well. There it is. A little bit more chaotic. Now, if you don't want to play them, there's 2 things I want to say. Number 1, if you want to play them a little nicer, not like my spider long stretched out thing, you can start making cluster chords. Imagine, for example, if you had your entire clef here. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll even do a grand staff, because why not? Pretend that makes sense. We'll make it a little prettier. Okay. Good enough. Close enough. Okay, we got this. Now imagine you just double your C in your root, right? You just have this big ol' C there. Great. Okay. And then all you do is you take the rest of your notes and cluster them together. Now you might want to put the A on top because you want to hear the fact that you have that 13th. So we can go ahead and put that A on top. In fact, you can put it really high up, but we're going to keep it all kind of nice here, and we'll see if we can fit everything. So we need an F. We're just going to go straight down this way. So we need an F. F can go right there. Super easy. Right. Okay. And then we need a D right there. We can keep that one there. Super simple. We need a B flat. A B flat. Let me get the right colors going. We got our B flat. Now, this is going to do a little bit of cross voicing here. Maybe it would be good to have the C down here instead of here, just for fun. And then this is where you can get a little bit more interesting. So we need a G flat. That can fit right here. Then we need an E flat. That'll fit right here. Okay, and then you have all the notes right there. So now you have your C on the bottom still. Yeah, I can do this with cross voicing. Yeah, so we're gonna play this one. We're gonna play this one here. That's fine, and we're gonna get rid of that one. Okay. And you got your B flat there. Oh, this is still an octave too high, isn't it? Nah. Yeah, that works. Okay, and then we got our B flat. Oh, I'm running out of fingers. I want to cheat. Okay, so that you could play this the same way. Kind of like that. Just put them all together. And it works a lot better. It sounds a little bit more like you know what you're doing. And really, you don't need to use quite all the notes. So we'll talk about that in a later video. What are the most important notes to keep when you have such a big chord? Okay. But that's beyond the scope of this video. That was number 1 I want to talk about. How you can change this to do something else. Number 2, the reason why you don't want to go beyond this. Why 13th chords are the kind of the end all of everything. Check this out. We're going to write down our treble clef down here, and we're going to show what happens if we go on even further. So we got C, we got E, we got 1, 3, 5, 7, right? We're just going to keep going. And already we have our 11th chord. Here's our 13th that we talked about. That's the same thing up there. Now we're going to add one more, okay? So here's the rub. Here's the tricky part. Here we have C, E, G, B. Maybe you're ahead of me already. You know why. But you got D, you got F, you got A, you got C again. You got your root. You're just doubling your root. So the 15th is the same thing as 1. It's your root. You don't really need to do that again, right? So 13th chords are kind of your entire scale. Usually your scale will have 7 scale degrees, right? You'll have those 7 scale degrees. So you've already used all of them. What else are you going to put in your chord to fit inside this key? Right? It doesn't really make sense. There are ways you can expand this if you really wanted to. If you want to go into, especially if you want to go into microtonal music, you can get between notes and put other things that are not this stuff, that are beyond your scale. So we can look into that at a later time, but that goes way beyond the scope of this video. And that's about where I want to stop today. So this is 13th chords. All you have to do is throw a 13th on top. Keep everything else the same that you're doing with the 7ths. You can start experimenting with your sharp nines and sharp and flat nines, sharp and flat 11s. You can also start flatting and sharpening the 13th, but we will see that in the next video, okay? So right there, we're going to end there, and have a good week. Like and subscribe if this is helpful. I enjoy making these for you guys, so if you find these useful and helping your understanding of jazz theory, please like and subscribe, and share the content, and comment below. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good week. Bye.